Hi everyone, Leanne here from Jaded Blossom, and I have a quick card for you today that I made using the Mini Human stamp set, the candy wrap dies, and the stitched and scalloped circle dies, all from Jaded Blossom. This is going to be super easy, a quick card basically made with dies, one stamp, and some adorable products from Doodlebug. So here we are. This is going to be a 5 by 5 inch vertical card. So that is a 10 inch by 5 inch piece of cardstock scored at 5 inches. And I'm using the G-Mend Savannah cardstock called Limba. And that's from Cut Cardstock, and it's like a wood grain. And I'm also using Doodlebug's 6 inch paper pad Bundle of Joy and their matching odds and ends to go along with that. So I quickly cut out some dies using my Gemini machine. So I used the largest scallop circle and the largest stitch circle. And I cut them out of that pattern paper from Doodlebug, the Bundle of Joy. So I used that really cute gingham print. And I'm going to be applying it to my card base with my ATG tape. So this is super quick and easy. Again, nothing too crazy. But it's a really cute baby card, I think. I love the sentiments, all from Jaded Blossom. This is kind of a tongue-in-cheek set, so they're pretty funny. And that's what I'm going for. Just something cute and, a simple congratulations on your baby card. Now, I love this print with the hearts. It's so pretty. So I'm applying that right down on top of the scalloped circle. And then I'll be putting my main images on the card. So there we are. I'm just placing my next layer. So nice and easy, just lining it up so it's in the center. And now I'm going to be doing some stamping. So I cut out the candy wrap die, and I cut it out of white and out of the pattern paper from the same Doodlebug Bundle of Joy set. And I just used the frame just to hold it in place so I can line up my stamp. And I'm using my Misty to do that. I'm using VersaFine Onyx Black ink. And I'm going to ink up my sentiment, and then I'll be stamping my my sentiment on this little rectangle shape. So you can use like dies in different ways. You don't have to use them. These are actually meant to wrap candies, like those little miniature chocolate bars and stuff like that. But I'm using it for a sentiment because, sentiments fit in these little rectangles. There's some cute ones. There's like a little zigzag one, and there's one that's scalloped, which is quite nice. So here I am, I'm still farting around trying to stamp this sentiment. And I didn't speed anything up, as you can tell, because this is dragging. You might want me to speed up stuff in the future, eh? But anyway, so there, I'm trying to stamp this image. Now this is why I have a Misty, because I didn't get a perfect image because that magnet was like too thick there. So now I'm going to reapply my ink and try and stamp it down again. So like I said, farting around. And then I finally get an image, and then you'll see what happens. There we go. So you see, oops, still not stamped completely. So I go back with my ink again. And it's just crazy, eh? It's just a million times stamping the same sentiment. So that's why you need a Misty, just in case you're like me and you make little boo-boos along the way. That way you can easily go ahead and stamp that again. So there we are. I removed my magnets. So now I'm going to be gluing that onto my white piece of cardstock that I cut it out of. I just want it to be a little bit more sturdy. And you'll notice I had ink on my finger. And what did I do? I got ink on it. But I don't really notice it right away. So now I'm going to add some ATG tape to my white die cut. That's just going to make the pink one sturdy. The Doodlebug paper is thick, but it's not as thick as I'd like it. And now I realize, there's even more ink on this. And there's ink on my fingers, and I'm going to mess it up even more. I left this in because I wanted to show you that I do make mistakes all the time. It's like a hazard for me. So now this is take 2. So I recut out that pink pattern paper again. I'm going to put it back in the frame. And since my stamp was already lined up and on my Misty, I can just go ahead and stamp this again. So let's hope I have better luck this time. So I'm going to stamp that again with the VersaFine Onyx Black ink. The one drawback to this ink is that it takes a little while to dry, so you can smear it like me. So you just got to be careful. But you get nice sharp images, and it's really great for sentiments because you can see the detail. It's just a great sentiment ink for sentiments. So it's my favorite black ink for stamping sentiments. So here we are, I stamp it, and oh, look at it, it's perfect this time. Thank goodness, because I don't want that to happen again. So now I'm a little bit more careful, but I'm just going to add that to my pile. You know, might as well. No one will know there's a boo-boo under there. So I'm just going to add the HEG tape again to the front of that label, and then I'll pop the pink layer back on top of that again. And that's all. So it'll be quite thick now, which is nice because, you know, when you're popping it up on the card base, you don't want it to be flimsy because then you're gonna get little dips and dives where your foam tape is or isn't, and you know, it's just not as good. So now I'm going to be applying the matching odds and ends on the front of this card. So this came from the Bundle of Joy odds and ends. So they're just matching little die cuts that you get from Doodlebug, and they're super cute and super easy to make a quick card using. So now I'm going to be using my craft tacky glue, and I'm just lining up these bottles on my circle. So I'm just kind of, you know, getting a pleasing arrangement, and have the green bottle in the middle because green is my outside color, and then I'm going to add the other two colors on either side. So like I said, nice and simple. You know, these cards don't have to be rocket science, like I always say. You know, you can come up with a simple design. People are going to love it because it's made by you and it's homemade, which is always nice. Now, you can always blend companies together. Like Jaded Blossom has like adorable die cuts. They have adorable stamped images. They have great sentiments. So you can easily pair up their sentiment and dies with another company's products like Doodlebug, and you can get a really pretty result. So now I'm going to be adding my time to hit the bottle sentiment, which is kind of appropriate, right? You got a new baby, you're going to be hitting the bottle. And I'm just popping it up with my 3M foam tape. And those will be layered over the bottom of the circles there that I have on my card. Now, I'm really liking that Limba cardstock with the wood grain. Like it's a real heavy weight. So it's quite nice and sturdy for a card base. And I think that the wood grain kind of gives it a fun look. You know, it's something different, right? So now I'm adding my little sentiment here. And you'll notice, you know, with that VersaFine Onyx Black ink, look how sharp that stamping is. It's perfect. So now I'm applying that to my card base, trying to get it level because, you know, that's my biggest problem is getting things straight. You know, once I can, you know, if I can get them straight, then things are good. So now I'm just adding the sentiment, and then I'll be popping my little baby up on the front of this card. So I'm using my Stampin' Up! Dimensionals, the normal sized ones and then mini ones. And you'll also notice that I'm doing all of my card making on the Stampin' Up! Pad. It just gives a little bit of, it gives a surface that you can stick stuff down on. And, you know, once a page gets dirtied up, you can flip it over, use it again, fold it in half, use it again, until it's all used up, and then you can, you know, throw it out. But I just like working on these Stampin' Up! Pads. I use my Tim Holtz glass mat normally when I'm crafting without the camera on, but, you know, when the camera's on, you get kind of a glare, at least I do, on the glass mat. So I kind of prefer to use the white paper because, you know, you don't get the glare. So now I'm just removing the backing to all these Stampin' Up! Little dimensionals. And then I'll be applying this cute little baby to the front of the card. And this card is almost done. It's super quick and easy. I'm using my EK Success reverse tweezers. I kind of start to get it lined up, and then I end up getting my fingers in there and trying to get it centered. Because like I said, I'm really challenged when it comes to getting things either straight or centered. It's tricky for me. So there we go. Okay, we're nice and straight. Geez, I could have used some hand cream, eh? My hands look really dry in this video. Oh well, you know, when you're always working with your hands, what can I say? So there, I'm going to try and get it centered. Usually the second attempt is always good. So there we are. So now I'm going to be applying some embellishments to the card. And here we go. So I'm going to be using my favorite Nuvo Crystal Drops in Ebony Black. And my plan is I'm just going to add a little dimension to the eyes on the baby. I think I've got a little plug here, so I'm going to clean it out with a pin. And it's always good to have some scrap paper sitting beside you to, test out your Nuvo Crystal Drops. You don't want them to spray across your card that you've just almost completed. That would be terrible. It's happened to me in the past. It's awful. I've also made cards down on my messy sheet with all my Nuvo Crystal blobs on it and stuck it to that. Because, these are things that I do in my craft room when I'm alone. I'm a little dangerous when you give me some cutting tools and some sticky stuff, all in my craft room in the basement. There we are. So now I'm just applying some Nuvo Crystal Drops right to the eyes. I'm just giving making a little mound on each one. That's why I love crystal drops, the Nuvo Crystal Drops so much. I like the little round circles that you can embellish with. And there we go. Now I'm going to be adding, I think I'm going to be adding some little freckles to the cheeks too. I'm using the Jelly Roll pen from Sakura, and that's a number 10. And I'm just going to put little dots on her little cheeks there. Just for some little extra something something. There we are. Isn't she cute? I love these little things. So now I'm going to be applying some shape sprinkles. This is from the same set, actually. These are called, what are they called? Snugs and Kisses. So I'm just applying them using my pen knife. I find it easy to pick them up off the little piece of acetate with the pen knife. And I'm just popping them onto the little labels of those bottles. And I'm just sort of keeping with the bottle theme. So I've got a pink one, so a pink heart. Yellow one has a yellow heart. And now I'm going to add a few more hearts just to the background of my card. Because they're here, I might as well add a few more, right? And I always try to add things in uneven numbers, so either in 3s or 5 or something like that, in a visual triangle if you can. So there we are. So I'm going to add my green one, and then I'm going to add 2 more, and then the card will be done. So nice and quick and simple. I don't know if anyone's used Doodlebug's odds and ends, but I think you should. You can make some really cute, quick cards. Pull out your favorite dies. Mine are always from Jaded Blossom, and an adorable sentiment, of course. And like I said, Bob's your uncle, and you'll have an adorable little card to share. Right now I've been adding to my stash, making a few baby cards, which is always good because you can always use some baby cards. Although I think I need to, amp up on my thank you cards too. They're getting kind of low on my stash. So there we are. I'm just trying to add my last little heart, and of course trying to get it straight. I've got to turn it sideways to do that. And then that is all. So super quick and easy, but it's adorable nevertheless. And anyone I think would love to have a little baby card. Isn't that cute? Thank you so much for stopping by, and I hope to see you soon. Bye, everyone.